How are you, Maribel? I want to talk to you about a topic that's very trending and very important for all of us to know and to understand. Because moving forward, things are gonna get very crazy. I want to talk to you about gangstalking. I'm gonna be answering a couple of questions. What is gangstalking? How does it work? Why does this operation exist in the first place? Who are the gangstalkers? And where does it happen? First question is, what is gangstalking? Gangstalking is a form of psychological and spiritual warfare. It has a lot of different purposes that we're gonna go into later, but I wanted to know that this is not something new. The thing is that it's becoming popular because, as you know, in 2020, a lot of people woke up spiritually. And now we are victims of this operation. As some of you may know already, I am a targeted individual, which means I am on the list for this operation. And I have been on the list for this operation for quite some time already. Thing is that I want to have clarity on things before speaking about it. It works in many different ways. There are many different techniques, and one of them is the smear campaign. A lot of people go through these smear campaigns in different levels, some of them more intense than others, depending on how much of a threat you are to the system. There are many levels to this, but it almost always have the same energetic blueprint, which is fear and shame. We as human beings, we have been controlled with these frequencies for centuries, and now that we are awakening and becoming more conscious of it, it's becoming more and more difficult for these systems to control people. First, they will use the people around you, the people closest to you. They will make you trust them. Then they will set you up, they will drug you, they will record you, they will spread rumors about you. And another thing that they love doing is the incitation of violence. So they will learn your triggers and your weaknesses, and then they will slowly start using them against you. So whatever your weaknesses are, because they first study you for some time, right? These operations can last for years. In fact, there are many people who are talking about this on YouTube, and some targeted individuals have been on this list for more than a decade. So they already know the different techniques that they use. The moment you start creating your own program, you start becoming more aware of the systems that control people. And when you're bold and you talk about it, this makes you a target, right? I don't know what the fuck happened here. Okay, so for women, they usually like to shame women. They usually like to accuse them of robbery, any kind of crime. They also fabricate. They have the budget to create legit police reports, medical reports. So they sometimes frame you for STDs, especially men. They like to frame them as child predators, robbers, rapists. Once they target you, they start learning your triggers, they start understanding your patterns, and then they slowly start putting things on your food. Then they will start triggering you so that they can record you and create very credible smear campaigns against you. Why? Because one of the purposes is destroy your credibility, especially when your power is your voice. If you have natural leadership abilities, your credibility is one of the first things that they are going to target. They're going to target you in your community. Sometimes, like in my case, it's going to be internationally. Some people think that this happened in Vietnam only, but it's everywhere, because everywhere I go, people know about it. Okay, if you are someone who creates things, you are outspoken, your voice is your power, your leadership is your power, they are going to try to destroy your confidence, destroy your credibility, destroy your reputation, and destroy your connections and your finances, right? Whatever it is that helps you to spread your message, they're going to target that. They also send people your way to steal your and learn your passwords, to destroy your credibility with your family members. Sometimes they use your lovers as well to drug you, poison you. It happened to me a couple of times where these people was putting stuff on my food and my drinks, and then they trigger you to make you become violent so that they can then record you and file a police report. And so they did this many times with me, and then they created false police reports so that they could get me outside of Vietnam. And now the smear campaign is also here in my country, wherever I go, people know this. No, it's really crazy because most people don't really know what the fuck is going on. So some of them really look at you like you should end yourself. And this is one of the purposes of this operation, is also to make you feel so isolated, to make you feel so hopeless and sad and lonely and all of this, so that then you take your own life. They can end your life because they have the budget and they have the people who can do that for them, but they prefer that you do it by yourself, so that then they can validate all the campaigns that they have run against you. And also, when you are on this operation, you're going to notice how they follow you everywhere. They're like expecting you to end yourself, and they will send people to watch out for that so that they can cover it up immediately. They will say that they are trying to protect you, but in reality, they want to be the first ones to know so that they can get their people to do their testings, cover the thing up as best as they can. They can say that you were depressed, they can say that you were sad, you were lonely, you didn't have support, whatever. But the whole time they were plotting the whole thing. So this has been happening to me for the past say like a year and a half since everything started. And people don't know the gravity of this operation. This is why they act the way they act. They laugh at you, they participate in the campaign, they're getting paid, they're getting gift cards and some benefits. The way they do this is they have apps for this, and they have also group chats. This is how they get to know also where you are at all times, because they have access to your phone, they have access to your location, they can see where you are, they know basically everything that you're going to do, especially if you plan things. They know before you do, and they arrange everything to, do their work, right? Another purpose of this gangstalking is, I already said this, destroy your image, destroy your reputation, and destroy your credibility. So this really works because you have to understand that a lot of people are in very low levels of consciousness, so you cannot expect them to understand what's really going on. A lot of people have been poisoning themselves and their bodies for a long time. So their third eye and their crown chakra are completely calcinated. So their perceptions, their level of perception and their level of consciousness are very, very low. Some of them don't even understand the concept of spiritual warfare. Besides, they're getting paid. So yeah, a lot of people will participate and agree to participate in this, not knowing that the whole purpose of the campaign is to actually end you, is to label you as crazy, to make you look crazy in front of everybody, to have everybody shaming you or scared of you. In the case of men who are being targeted with child abuse, and I keep hearing this word, you have to talk about child abuse, and I dream about this, and child abuse and child abuse. So apparently a lot of men who have woken up, who have important information, they are being targeted with this. So I don't know, for some reason I keep hearing it, and I keep hearing that I have to talk about it. Yeah, so you are not alone. We are all connected. Your prayers are being listened, and there are people who are willing to support you. You need to find the sources for information so that you can have clarity. Another purpose is to put you in a state of cognitive dissonance. When you are in a state of cognitive dissonance, it's basically when you have two opposing beliefs. It causes you to gaslight yourself. So you're constantly in a state of not knowing what's really going on. So you're gonna see that you cannot take action, you cannot see the path forward clearly because you have these two opposing beliefs. So the whole operation is very well organized so that you feel very confused. You never know what the fuck is going on because they're listening to your calls, they are everywhere you go. You cannot really put a finger on it. You don't know how the operation works, and this is because the operation has many layers. Most of the people who are involved on this operation, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They're just getting paid, and some of them really think that they're doing good for their community because they labeled you as this crazy psychopathic person. So then everybody in the community think that they are actually doing something good. They are getting rid of a criminal or a crazy person, a person who is dangerous. This is how they think. They will of course participate because, I mean, it's their country, it's their community. They want to protect it. They want to feel useful. They want to feel validated. They want to feel a sense of belonging. I went through some crazy stuff in Vietnam because of this, but I'm a warrior. So really, when you come up against me, you have to know that I know how to deal with stuff. Like I said to one of my gang stalkers, I have been dealing with stuff my entire life, so this is not really like the end of the world. It is a horrible experience, especially if you haven't done your inner work. You don't know how to control your emotions, you don't know how to regulate your nervous system. Is going to be very, very hard for you, and they're gonna get away with a lot of stuff because, like I said, they're constantly trying to trigger you and make you violent, make you reactive so that they can record you, they can have witnesses, they can have proof of your horrific behavior and then paint you as the bad guy, and then they don't have to do much because then they get the whole community around you to do their dirty work for them. You understand? So yes, these operations exist, and this is also connected with cancel culture. Cancel culture is, well, this, they cancel someone because they're speaking something that goes against the rules in the matrix, and then everybody goes against this person, all the people, all the ignorant people, because at the end of the day, that's what they are. If you don't have the power to really control and understand your emotions, this can be a very detrimental experience for you, because it's not only the things that you go through in the physical world, they also attack you. In my case, this has been very, very, very persistent and very exhausting, the way that they target me spiritually, in my dreams, in my meditations, mentally. Like I said, this operation has many layers, and one of the layers is the spiritual layer. And yeah, they do attack you in your dreams, and they combine this with the shit that they put in your drinks. If you don't have the knowledge and the ability to ground yourself and to understand yourself, this operation can really drive you crazy, right? And this is the goal. The goal is to drive you crazy, isolate you, destroy your credibility, and then when you can no longer trust yourself, you just want to end your life, and they get away with it without even touching you. I already talked about cognitive dissonance. Destroy your confidence. So you will see that they send people to date you or to befriend you, or just to strangers to talk to you on the streets, that know things about you that you don't know how they know it, that slightly destroy your confidence, because they don't want you to put yourself out there. They want you to stop whatever it is that you're doing. They want to confuse you. They want to target your main energy centers. So in my case, since I am a highly sensitive, highly intuitive, and a creative person, they have targeted my sacral chakra. If you know about energy, the sacral chakra is in charge of sexual energy, pleasure, and creativity. So they purposefully targeted this one, because this is where I exist most of my time. They have tried to shame my power. As a healer, one of my biggest powers and one of my biggest weaknesses as well is my sexual energy. It has been, and it will always probably be. I still try to conquer this part of me, but it is what it is. Sometimes people expect you, especially when you're a woman, people expect you to be perfect. They want you to be what they want you to be, and you cannot be anything else. So a lot of their programming became exposed by this operation. I was there still in Vietnam when they were doing this to me, when the smear campaign was active, and I could see how everything was playing out. Of course, holding compassion and forgiveness and understanding, because this is knowledge that not everybody has access to. It's gonna get worse, guys. A lot of you are waking up. This is exactly why they target people like me, because in reality we are guides. This is why we wake up before, because we are being prepared to guide you in your journey, right? So this energy that they try to place in you is to make you feel some sort of way towards the thing that you actually need to evolve on your own journey. So it's a mind fuck, but if you really start observing it in hindsight, you will see how everything plays out. Now, I just want to say again about the child abuse thing. For the men who are being targeted with child abuse, stop trying to explain yourself to people. You're wasting energy, and this is exactly what they want. They want you to waste your energy. They want to distract you from what you are supposed to do, which is, if you don't have a voice already, then you should be focusing on developing that voice. And you do that by healing yourself. Start with fasting, prayer. Yes, your prayers work. This is why I'm doing this video, because you will be assigned. A healer will be assigned to you. We can hear you, but you also need to be obedient about the things that you need to do. You need to incorporate movement into your routines. You need to have some sort of control, mind control, your own mind. You need to control your thoughts, because they also have the ability, like I said, to target you spiritually in your dreams and in your thoughts. So you will start having a bunch of thoughts that are not yours, that are very self-destructive, that are targeting your deepest wounds, and this is going to destroy your confidence. So you really have to start incorporating movement, meditation, fasting, and prayer into your routines. There is no explaining yourself to people. A lot of you are still stuck there. Let go of that. You should be focusing on your voice, or whatever your power is. You need to know what's your power. If you don't know what's your power, then you have to start regulating yourself, understanding yourself, and working on yourself, because the future belongs to those who know themselves. Now think about the people who are confused in life, and if they go through this, they end themselves, because they don't have what it takes to survive this level of psychological abuse. This is psychological abuse, right? So please stop trying to explain yourself. Stop trying to make people believe you. Isolation is not a bad thing. It just really depends on the perspective you have about it. So change your perspective. It's a good thing. You get to discover yourself. You get to clear your mind and see what's really in there. You get to connect with God, and this is how I can hear you, and many light beings can hear you, and we are here to support you. You're not alone, even though they want to make you feel like you are. You're not alone. We can hear you, and we have been trained and prepared to support you and assist you on this journey. There is really no other way, because it's going to get worse. So please stop avoiding your inner work. You need to listen. You need to learn to listen, right? Because there are people who have the gift of seeing, because we're here to guide. But if you struggle with listening, then things happen, right? When you don't listen. Okay? So yeah, I hope this video helps you. And yeah, I think I want to talk about this more, but for this one, that's all.